Thanks for listening to Dad's Doing Nerd Shit, a podcast by three dads who talk about the shit they are interested in. Just a PSA for the listeners. We are not experts in... take our advice with a grain of salt. All opinions are biased because they belong to us. Also, we tend to cuss, swear, say whatever the fuck we want. So, if you don't want your kids to hear it, get them the fuck out of the room. With that out of the way, roll the dice and join us as we discuss the things we love and the culture around being a nerd.
All right, welcome to the show. I'm Matt.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Dusty.
And today, we're going to have the most exciting topic ever.
Amazing.
It's amazeballs.
We're just going to shoot the shit about fucking
Everything.
whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever we want.
Whatever we want.
So you guys do any nerding this week?
I started a new book.
Yeah. What'd you start?
That is a great question.
I don't even know the name. It's so great.
It's so
Can't
good.
even remember the name.
No, so I decided, because I was done with the Darth Bane series,
Sure.
I was looking through Audible, looking for something to listen to. And I came across this one called The Shadow of What Was Lost. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It reminds me a lot of Stormlight.
Written by
James Islington, something
Cool.
like that.
Yeah.
But it's also read by the same guy that narrates Stormlight, so it's kind of cool.
That's solid.
A lot of
Any
lot
of the
nuances
sound
to this
effects like the Darth Bane?
one. Thank God,
Audibles? No, is it really distracting or like
yes.
it doesn't add to the like? Is it dope sometimes when it's like he ignites his lightsaber?
So, I haven't heard the Darth Bane series, but I will say, as a voracious consumer of audio media, there's a difference between an audio drama and a dramatic reading of a book. Like, because an audio drama, right? Like, there's sound effects and,
Sure.
It's a movie minus the movie.
Right.
But if it's just a book and then there's random fucking...
He opens the door.
Yes, that's exactly it too.
That sucks, man.
Or like
that does kind of suck.
Or like if there's at one point where, like, if they're flying through space, there's this low, like, yes,
Really?
and it will last for 10, 15 minutes. And like at one point I was listening to, and I had Liam in the Jeep with me, and he's like, "Dad, what is that bass?" I go, "It's the story." He goes, "I can't do it." So I shut it off. He's like, it's giving me a headache. I was like, dude, I didn't
no shit.
I didn't even focus on that until he said something.
Right.
And then once
he couldn't stop.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's all
Crawled
it is.
Right in your ear holes.
And like,
yeah, that's kind of, that sucks.
The doors, the little droids, I just like, come on. But nonetheless, it is a good story. I could have done
the audio
sound effects.
Yeah, better read than listened.
Or like when Bane's dealing with the holocron, it's got a low undertone to it too, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, see that, because like I said, there's a difference between an audio drama where it's like you get the mind visual of like what's going on, and then, like I said, he opens the door.
Right.
Like,
if you go into it knowing that's going to happen, maybe. I don't know. Ever since you've told me that, Dusty, I was like, I don't think Bane's going to be the first book I listened to in a really long time.
Don't.
No. That doesn't sound fun. I've listened to some of Stormlight. And I think the narrator was great. It was mostly Kaladin. I heard a little bit of Shallan's narration.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like the name difference. Does that ever happen with like Bane? Like if there's two people reading it, or is it just one person reading it with sound effects?
It's just one person reading it. And I mean, I guess that's the other thing too. So like if he was like talking over a radio, he would distort his voice so it sounded like he was talking over a radio.
Okay.
You know, like, or, you know, the comms or whatever. So
Sure.
he did change it up, and the guy can actually do a lot of voice work, which is awesome. Which kind of helps.
Sure.
And he's definitely got a good vocal range because he can do like Xana as like a higher pitch and have it not sound like crap. And then he can also do it like really low where like Bane is talking and he's just like, fuck you, I'll kill you.
Fuck you, I'll kill you.
Yeah, and it's like 10 times lower than that. It's awesome. It's crazy. It's a good book though. I mean, if you can get past the sound effects.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. I think I think I'll probably do Stormlight on Audible and give them a third read, quote unquote, but my first audio. Yep.
That'd be a good one.
Yep. Because I'm enjoying Words of Radiance again. Val's still working through Way of Kings, and
nice.
She's like, oh my God. What the fuck? And I'm like, oh man. I was like, just know that you're still on that incline on the fucking roller coaster. Like it hasn't even shot down the fucking
right. You're still clunking your way up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun though, like talking to her about it and like getting her perspective on the characters and stuff has been a lot of fun. And I mean, we talk about Stormlight all the time, so obviously if you haven't started it, you know, Dusty and Jim listened to a few different audios, and that's a good one. I've listened to that one, and I was like, this is solid. It is a good read.
Yeah.
Like after having read it and listened, I like the fact that it changed how I read Pattern's voice.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Reading that and then hearing somebody actually do it, and somebody obviously was like, try and do it like this. Right? Like behind the scenes was like,
right. There was some direction to it.
Yep. And I was like, oh, okay. I do like that. It's different in my head, obviously, because it's narrated by a woman.
I don't like Pattern's voice in the audiobooks.
No. I agree. I was not a fan. And I mean, go ahead.
I think that's exactly what they were going for.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like
to make it kind of grinding.
Yeah.
It's nails on a chalkboard, honestly. Yeah. And like, so I forget her name, but the female narrator.
Kate Redding.
Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's great at what she does, and she definitely makes you not like Pattern's voice, but like Jim said, it's got to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Because
remember that Syl doesn't. The other Spren don't like the cryptics, right? Like they don't like those kinds of Spren, and don't be all like, "Oh, spoilers, dads." No, there's no spoilers there. Like if you ever go to you read Way of Kings and go to a Brandon Sanderson convention, you're gonna have so many more spoilers than learning the name of a couple of different Spren.
Yep.
You know what I mean? No, we're not spoiling anything. We could literally sit here and talk about the first half of the book and not spoil anything. Tell you specifics of the first half, and you would still have so much content left in one book. So,
I mean, we were talking about that before I pressed record. So Matt you started a new job, and you were reading Radiance.
Yep, Words of Radiance, book 2. Yep.
And
they thought I was reading a Bible.
Right.
Because it is it's, obviously Shallan, you get more of Shallan's backstory in this one, right? And again, no spoiler. If you have the hardcover of this book, the inside cover is a picture of fucking Shallan. So,
but it's like a burgundy, like the hardcover is a burgundy, right?
All the print down the binding is like gold leafed. Yeah. Right. So I totally get it, but I was like, no, I'm not reading a Bible. I was like, I've already done that.
Right. But anyways, we were talking about, again, the comparison of size between the Stormlight books and Tolkien, the Lord of the Rings. So I actually pulled out my copy of the Lord of the Rings complete set, right?
Yeah, all 3 in one book.
Yes. So, and, I was just like, all right, so this contains the note on the text, the foreword, the prologue concerning hobbits, the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, the Return of the King, appendices, which is roughly 100 pages, and indexes, which is slightly less than 100 pages. But anyways, I opened up to the note on the text, and I just happened to read the first line. So, The Lord of the Rings is often erroneously called a trilogy, when it is, in fact, a single novel consisting of 6 books plus appendices, sometimes published in 3 volumes. I never realized it was like one complete work and not just 3 books.
Right.
Sanderson's going to do that now.
They've made it. You can tell they've made him split books. Like, no, you can't have a book that's 5,000 pages, Brandon. Mr. Sanderson, we can't do this.
The fuck you can't.
Right. I'm cool with it. No, you can, having read the books, right, on my second read, I have picked up in like some of the nuances of his writing style. And having read Tolkien so much, right? Like, as a kid, like, I don't like comparing the two. They're vastly different stories, worlds, lore. Everything's vastly different between Stormlight. We're only comparing the thickness of the volume, right? Like the weight of the book, the size of the books are different, and it's crazy the amount of content.
Well, I mean, if I don't have a hard copy of any of the Sanderson books, but if I held up the Lord of the Rings complete set, right, to a Sanderson book, one, it's smaller in all dimensions, quite literally, right?
Yeah.
Length, width, height,
for sure, everything.
It's smaller.
Crazy. Yep. I literally have a pocket copy of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Like, it's twice the size of my wallet, basically. You know what I mean? Like, it legit fits in my back pocket. And man, they would have to abridge The Way of Kings so much to make it a pocket-sized book.
But could you abridge?
No, not without ruining it.
Right. I mean, you'd have to take out so much shit.
You lose so many characters. Because, my daughter's been reading The Way of Kings, and she knows who Gaz is, right? One of the bridge commander.
Yeah.
In Sadeas's army. And in book 2, he shows back up, and he's kind of not such a piece of shit. And I'm interested he's becoming a light weaver after Shallan takes him in and gets him their pardon and shit. Spoilers. Still, we're still at like COVID death rates.
Right.
So, less than 1% spoilers here.
That was bad.
That was a bad joke.
That was a bad joke.
Yeah.
We talk about cannibalism and shit. It's cool. That's
right.
Mummy powder.
So mummy powder.
Would that give you immunization if you ate somebody who was vaxxed against COVID?
I doubt it.
Yeah, no.
I doubt it too.
I mean, you'd have to eat them. No, even if you ate them raw, because your stomach acid would.
Yeah, it's gonna destroy that shit. I don't think the virus. Yeah, even in the bloodstream.
Maybe they use mummy powder.
I don't know. I bet you somebody knows because they tested it. Sorry, that was a little tinfoil hattie, but that happens sometimes.
People are going to start Googling what